Hey Dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, and a big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be ManUnkind? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! ManUnkind with a capital UN in the middle. We're nearing the end of the record, and this is the song that probably confused the entire world. Even though the last one was called Confusion, this one is quite the ride, and we'll get to it. But first off, we're going to listen to it, you and I. We're going to analyze every little detail. I'm going to stop at any time I have something to say. Then I'm going to grade it using the following criteria: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end of the video if this song has what it takes to get to the top 20. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because when you do, everyone in the world is going to be kind to you forever. It's a very magical thing. And I don't know how it works. I just know that that's what happens. Let's get into this song. But first off, we got to say there's a lot of time signature changes going on here. And there's even a feel change, which I'll talk about when we get there. This first section, technically speaking, is in 4/4 all the way through. But in my view, I would probably count it as a 3/4 and a 5/4. But 3 plus 5 is 8, and 4 and 4 is 8. So you could really count it in 4 all the way through. But let me show you how this works. We're going to go by, I'm going to count it in 4. Or no, I'm going to count it in 3 and then 5 the first way through. When they repeat it, I'm going to count it in 4 alone. And you'll see that when they get to the last boo, doo, 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 when they hold out that last note, it's going to always be in the right time. It's going to lock up no matter which way you do it. But I want you to listen to it. I'll count it 3, 8, 5, or 3, 4, 5, 4, repeating until a couple measures of 4, 4. And then I'll count it in 4, 4 for the rest of the way. And you'll see how this works. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now all the way through 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, Okay, so what I was trying to get at is they have this little bounce to it. Right? And because of that bounce, because of where that accent is, it feels like it's in threes. And then there's that little extra do at the end that makes it feel like the 3/4 measure has a 2/4 at the end. So it could be 3/4, 3/4, 2/4. But again, that all adds up to 8. So you can count it straight in 4 and never change the time signature. But what they're doing is really interesting because it's that would be emphasizing the 2 and the 3. And then they're emphasizing 4, 1, 2, 3. It's just interesting to me that it's always emphasizing, like, it would be the 2 and the 3, but then it would be the 1 and the 2 the next time through. And then it would be like the 3 and the 4. It keeps shifting where that emphasis is. And it eventually all adds up, but it's really creative the way it bounces. And it's just Robert and Kirk, which is not something we've really had in a long time. Have we had a good just one guitar and one bass since My Friend of Misery is pretty much the last one I can think of? I mean, I know there's other things like Devil's Dance and other parts where it's maybe just one guitar and bass, but there's no drums. And it's just a nice clean riff. It's a very interesting, very Tool style opening, actually, if you think about it. Very Tool. Yeah, we'll call it a Tool intro. Now we have a beat that is no longer straight 4/4 time. It's no longer common. It's actually a shuffle beat. So all of the subdivisions, if you count it 1, 2, 3, 4 in straight time, you divide it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or even further as 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. But now in shuffle beat, everything is subdivided in threes. So instead you have a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a ba ba da ba da ba da ba da. Everything has a da 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 da. It's like a long note and a short note. Ba 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 ba. And we have that for most of the rest of the song. We'll switch back to common time in the bridge, and then we'll come back to this shuffle beat. So this is a very interesting song because we have a weird intro that feels like it has mixed time, mixed meter, but it's really in 4/4, but it's clean and it's in straight time. And then we've got this shuffle beat with all kinds of mixed meters in here. Oh boy, let's get into it. It's a really cool beat, and you can actually hear Rob doing a whap. He's doing like a, I don't know if he's doing a slap and pop, but that bass is really cutting through on that boom whap on the 2. I really like it. This is a pretty cool, it's like black metal, if you will. It feels very early stages metal, right? We're throwing back to, I don't know, Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Iron Maiden and I don't know, the old stuff. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this is really goofy. We got 2 measures of 3/4, followed by 1 measure of 4/4, and then we're back to 3/4 for like 4 measures. It's so goofy and it's odd. And I remember that I actually had to study this before doing this video. I rarely ever listen to a song and look up information about it. I do most of these videos just flying by the seat of my pants, improvising the whole way through. But I know that this song has always felt goofy to me, and I didn't want to come into this review without actually knowing how it's listed and only looking at one tab. That's all I looked at. I didn't even listen to the song. I just looked at the tab, and the one tab had it listed this way: 3/4, 3/4, 4/4, 3/4, 3/4. And that's the riff. And then repeat that all the way through, and you have your verse. It's goofy. And I remember every time I listened to this song up to this point, there's something about the snares. Boom, ka, ba, boom, ka, ba, boom, ka, ga, 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 boom. It's like, how many snares is he going to hit? He's going to do an extra hit. He's going to do an extra hit. Where are we? What time signature is this? I don't know where I am anymore. Ah! But now we know. Now we have the math, so we can count it straight. Does that make it more listenable? We'll find out when we get to the end of the video, I suppose. Let's keep jamming.
Waiting for Adam's return. Madness spinning as we watch it burn. I become hostage to my mind. Left myself behind.
I think once we get to the chorus, or is this pre-chorus, is it chorus? I don't know what you want to call it, but I would call it a chorus. Then we go back into 4/4, and we're 4/4 all the way through. Again, still shuffle beat, but oh man, this song is busy. There's a lot of stuff going on here. If you're really into stuff like Rush and Dream Theater and those just odd time signature bands, this is probably a song that's going to attach to you. If you're looking for a groove that you can bang your head to, you're probably lost already. I know it took me a long time to figure it out. And even knowing this rhythm now that I finally understand it, it's still not speaking to me in the way that I would prefer. When I'm looking for a favorite song, I'm a groove guy. I'm a drummer. I appreciate interesting time signatures. You know, I always talk about them, but I am also interested in doing them tactfully with a groove we can all jam to. And this is not a jammable groove. This is a, well,
Quest to find faith in man.
do have to say though, that hook, brrrka, ba, 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 that's really cool. That's probably my favorite part of the whole song. If we could just put that on a loop for 10 hours, I'm good. But also not 10 hours because I would get sick of it. But also it's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Got it, a beating, so simple and pure. Greedy, needy, must we have more? I've become hostage to my mind.
Okay, so the weird thing about it is that the when we get that 4/4 measure, so boom, ka ka, that's 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and then it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then the next measure is 1, but he's still hitting the snare on the 1, so it's almost like a 5/4 measure, but it's not a 5/4 measure because we're back into 3s for the turnaround for the tag, and it's just, oh, what's happening? My head is about to implode.
Left myself behind. Blindly blind. Quest
Here we go, sing it along.
faith in ManUNkind.
Okay, now we have broken the feel once again. We're back into straight time. It's no longer a shuffle beat. It is now in 3/4 or 6/4. I would probably wager 6/4. I don't know why. I just feel like it's more of a, it doesn't have like the waltz of a 3/4. 3/4 is typically a kind of a waltzier feel. You get 3/4 in 1. 1 is very 3/4. Boom. Kaboom. I'm getting the pattern wrong because I'm thinking about this song, but we can count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So I guess, I don't know, maybe it does have a waltz. We'll call it 3/4. It's 3/4. I don't know who let Lars do this, but we need to have a chat. Because Lars, I appreciate you playing something different. It's not normal, but it's really goofing with my flow. And maybe you wanted to goof with the flow, but it's starting to kind of feel like you're the ManUNkind. Because I don't know where I am. Boom, ka, boom, 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 ka. So the first time through, the first measure, it's kick, snare, kick. And then the second measure, it's kick, 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 snare. So he's emphasizing the snare first on the 2 and then on the 3. And I don't know, you could do this so many different ways. You could do a straight beat, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka, right? Three beats, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka. That's 6/4 right there. That's one way to do it. You could just stick with boom, ka, boom, ka, or you could do boom, ka, boom, ka, like you did in 1. There's so many different ways to play it, but this is goofy, man. This is really strange. This whole section of the song, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not for me.
Fascinate. Partner of insanity. Decimate.
Okay, so we got a cool effect on here. Decimate. You hear the echo of his voice, but it's sort of, it's EQ'd weird. It's all low end. It doesn't sound like it. Sometimes they do the EQ trick where it sounds like a telephone vocal as it's echoing, but this feels like it's like underwater, maybe. It feels very hollow, very like, I don't know, 500K or something like that. 500K. 50K. Where are we at? Nope, 50 hertz. There it is. Nope, not 50 hertz. 500. Yeah, 500 hertz. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it sounds like it's that lower end. There's no high end to it. It's all rolled off. It's got kind of an interesting effect to it, but there is that echo. We are in 4/4 now, so again, changing it up quite a bit. So interesting. At least there's that, right? Even if the song isn't for you, you can at least applaud them for giving a try to odd time signatures and strange changes. This is still changing better than Babylon, Rebel of Babylon, in my opinion, because that song was just like, here's a brand new section that doesn't feel like any of the sections before it. At least this still fits in with the rest of the song, because we said it early on. After that clean Tool intro, we got a pretty good idea that this song is going to get goofy. And then we got some weird time signatures, weird meters. We switched into from common time to shuffle beats, and we're all over the place. So by the time we get to this section, it's not new that he's playing odd, right? It's all been established already. It just doesn't have the flow that I'm looking for. I would love to hear this song just carry that all the way through. That's such a cool groove, and it's really just kind of erased by the rest of the clunkiness of the verses and this part. I don't know, man. Not looking good for this song.
Lessons we never learn. Dominate. Killing of the innocence. Deviate. And to dust you return.
Deviation, annihilation. This is the part. Okay, I will say that I could probably forgive the odd drumming, the choice of hitting the snare on the 2 and then on the 3 on the next measure and just omitting it from the 1. But I think when this comes in, seize the day, there's something special about this section of the song. And it feels like it should be momentous. It feels like it should be a change that matters. Seize the day. I would love to hear a halftime groove. Boom, ka, boom, ba, boom. Ka, boom, boom, boom. Ka, boom, ba, boom. But ka, do, 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 ka, ka. You know what I mean? Like, just bring the groove back a little bit. Give us some relief from all of this wonkiness that we've been feeling for the rest of the song. The whole song has been so wonky. Give us a moment to breathe. And this is the section that feels like it's calling for it. But nope, boom, ga, boom, 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 ga. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel like they're playing together in this one. So just, that's my take on it. Maybe you like it, but it feels goofy to me. I'm just saying, just play it straight. It would feel 4/4 on the drums. It would feel 3/4 on the guitars. It'd be an interesting groove. We could all bang our heads. But this just boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, ga. It feels like a robot. There. See, we got our halftime groove. Boom, boom, ba-ga, boom, boom, ba-ga. He's doing it here. Why couldn't he do it here earlier? It fits so well. Okay, thank goodness we're back to this riff. Again, we come back to this and I don't know, man. I don't know who allowed him to put that in there, but it just doesn't work for me. It should be halftime. I mean, I want to encourage people to write whatever they feel. I do. I think that that's important. And that's what they did. We can't change the way this song was written. It's already out there. They've already performed it live. It is how it's forever going to be, right? We can't change it. I'm just saying that when you're writing these songs, I don't know, man, feel is important. Feel is important. Some people come into music because they want to entertain people. Some people come into music because they just want to get the art out there. And it's perfectly fine to do either of those things. Sometimes both. Sometimes, I don't know. Can you do neither? Possibly. But in the way that I approach music is twofold. One, I want to get my art out there, but two, I want to share it with people, and so I also want them to enjoy it. So I'm going to write something I enjoy listening to and something that I hope other people will listen to. And I want to say that I'm open to experimentation, but I also think it's really important to engage my audience. That's my personal motive. That may not be your motive, and that is definitely probably not Metallica's motive. They've always played whatever they want to play. If this is what they want to play, that's great. Good for them. They did what they wanted to do. But as far as listening to it, it breaks me, man. It just makes me feel blech. I don't like it. I don't like listening to it. It doesn't inspire me to want to go see this in concert. I want to see all their other songs, but this one just doesn't. Like, if this was the first thing I heard from Metallica, I would tell you with a straight face, this band doesn't know what they're doing. That's really insulting coming from, what is this, 110th song that I've listened to so far? If this was the first one I heard, I would be turned away. I would not listen to this band ever again. Now, I have the benefit of being a fan and knowing that this isn't the only way that they write and that they can do better. So I can appreciate this as hey, this is an interesting piece. They're trying something new. I can raise them up because I know this. But without that context, you have to understand, as a new person coming in, you'd be so thrown off by this song, you'd probably never come back. That's all I'm saying. And so I'm trying to take this out of emotional response and look at it analytically. First time listener, what are you attaching to and what are you pulling away from? And to me, this whole song, like, there's little moments that are like, oh, that's cool. And the rest of it is just, cross my arms, walk away. And so that's just really unfortunate. This one really turns me off, and let's get it over with. See, this section is so cool. This riff deserves an excellent song. It's an excellent riff. It deserves an excellent song. And it just didn't get it.
Zero, reset, creation of man. Foolish, ready to witness again. I've become hostage to my mind. Left myself behind. Blind, lead blind. Quest to find faith in ManUNkind.
Boy, imagine this song with the Saint Anger snare. Can you imagine? Boing, 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 boing. Oh, we're all so lucky they turned those snares back on, because, man, this song has a lot of snare hits. Holy moly.
Faith in ManUNkind.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, faith in ManUNkind. Faith in ManUNkind.
It's not over yet.
Oh, faith in ManUNkind.
Well, that's one of their songs. Let's get to the points. Whoosh. Composition. While I want to applaud them for going out of the norm and playing with some weird time signatures, even changing the feel from straight to shuffle to straight to shuffle again, I just feel like this song is so rocky, right? Where it exceeds in musicianship and knowledge of music theory, or at least the 18th century European composer theory, it is interesting. It is new. It is fresh. It's a fresh take on Metallica. They've never played anything quite like this in their entire discography. So that gets thumbs up from me. But how it all comes together is still, it still matters, right? The way that it flows from one section to the next is really, really jerky. Is the track skipping? I don't know. It feels like the track is skipping. And that's not a good sign, right? You want your song to have flow. And the highlight of the song, that main it's such a good riff. And then it's just erased by clunkiness and boom, ga, boom, 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 ga, boom, ga, boom, 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 boom. What is this riff? What are we doing here? I want to give them so many points for the interesting composition, but it is verse, chorus, bridge solo-ish section, verse, chorus, same structure, interesting time signatures, but no flow whatsoever. So I want to trash it. I'm going to give them 1 point. 1 point is all they get for all the change-ups. It's 1, but I really want to bring it down. Compositionally, 1. Memorability, I don't know that there's a whole lot to grab on here because of all the jankiness of the song, you might have left the song before you got to the hook. The best bit of the song, I mean, I guess the main riff comes in pretty much right away after the intro. That's pretty cool. But then by the time you get to that verse riff, you're like, what are we doing here? And then the chorus has such a nice hook on the end of it. And then you would go back to that verse and you're like, this is weird. So I don't know that there's a lot to remember other than that it's the song that's weird. I remember that this is the song that's weird. It's got a really nice hook on the end of the chorus, like I said, but the rest of the song is pretty forgettable in my opinion. I don't know where to stand on this. You're going to have to tell me if you remember it, but for me, it's right in the middle. We're calling it a 2. Emotional response. Instrumentation. Now they're doing some really cool stuff. I gotta applaud Kirk and Rob for the intro, for being the most interesting part of the song. Probably, I do really like that little. It's like a distance thing to it. Like it feels far away. It feels like they're standing on a stage in an empty arena or an empty auditorium. Not even an arena, a smaller space like an opera or something. They're just kind of standing on this. I feel like, is that what happens in the music video? I haven't seen the video in a while. Anyway, it feels like they're away. And then the band comes in. And for the most part, they're all playing. They have all agreed upon the time signature changes and the feel changes. They're all there. But I gotta say, man, Lars ruined this song. He really did. There was a chance. You can play 3/4 in a straight way without losing us, but this song really lost me on multiple occasions. I didn't know where we were half of the time, and most of that is because there just isn't a beat behind this song. It needs a groove. And again, like I said, you don't have to write songs a certain way. You're not going to get denied access to the music club because you wrote a weird song. It's perfectly fine. If you're into Tool, you're probably like, what are you talking about? This song is amazing. But for me, I want a groove. That's what I'm looking for. That's why composition is my number 1. For this one, it doesn't feel like the band is playing together, and most of my negative points are going straight to Lars. I'm sorry, but you've got so much better in your whole catalog. This really brings it down for me. It's a 1. Lyrics. Here's where we can have a little bit, we can take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I'm not trashing the song. I'm not trying to hate the song. I just feel like they can do so much better. Lyrically, this is fine. There's some really great stuff going on here. We have we're talking a lot about the fall of man, which is the story of Adam and Eve. Right off the bat, chaos awaiting Adam's return. Now, note for whoever's running the Metallica website, it's Adams with an S, but there's no apostrophe. You got to add that apostrophe in there if you want it to be grammatically correct. Same, I'm looking at you, Dyer's Eve, as well. If you want to have possession, you got to have that apostrophe S. Just a little grammar pick. The website doesn't have it, but I don't know. Maybe you're looking for a group of John Adams children. Maybe that's what we're waiting for. Adam's return. All of the Adams around the world. Maybe it's a plural thing. But if it's possessive, it should have that apostrophe. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Are we waiting for all of the Adams to return? Is that what they're trying to get at? Either way, we have this imagery of Adam and Eve, and I don't think it really talks about the bite of the apple or the serpent, but they do talk about Eden, and that's a very beautiful place. And then we keep looking for it. We keep finding it. We're like, where's the next Eden? Where's the next? Now I've got this one. Now I've got this one. It's really capitalism if you think about it. Like I want. And now we're just hostage to our minds of just like needing more. But at the end of the day, the people that are leading us to more are already like sinners, are already bad people. Blind lead blind. It's not talking about literal people who cannot see. It's talking about people who've lost their way are leading other people who've lost their way to continue to lead their way. It's the endless circle of addiction of like, hey, I do drugs and I'm selling drugs to you. And so now you're going to do drugs and you're going to sell drugs. And it's just all of this fall from grace in an endless circle, and we're always looking for the next best thing. But is the next best thing even out there? Because all of man, we're all pretty crappy, terrible beings. I mean, let's be honest. I try my best to be a good person. I try to treat people with respect. I try to be kind in every day. But I've done some things that I'm not super proud of. And there are probably people out there who look at me as some jerk on the internet. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just trying to talk about my favorite band. But some people read it as jerk. I don't know. We can't stop it. But even with all that aside, there are a lot of people out there who think they're doing right, and they're actually doing a really terrible job. Let's talk about the rise of I don't know if YouTube will block me, but if you look at late 30s, early 40s Germany, there were a lot of people who thought they were doing the right thing, and we can tell with our lens of history that it was not the right thing. I won't name names, but you know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of that happening throughout history. It happened in the US rather recently. There's a lot of people who think they're doing some good stuff that are doing some terrible stuff. So let's just take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Let's try to be kind. These lyrics are fine by me. It's a 3. And so, ManUNkind gets a grand total of 7 points. It is not very high on the list at all. It's actually a 97th place out of 110, I believe. So very, very low on the list. It is right underneath Better Than You, and right under, thinking of Holier Than Thou. It's right under Better Than You and right above Slither. So it fits right in that reload era for me. But that's just what I gotta say. What do you gotta say? First off, let's take a look at the top 20 board. Nothing has changed in a couple of songs. We still have one, and we still have Halo on Fire tied at top. In the top rank, and we still have Ride the Lightning on the chopping block. So now it's your turn in the comments below. Tell me what you think of this song. Use my method, add it up, and make sure you're not grading only on emotional response. I do see a lot of that on this channel. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like this song. It's a 0. That's emotional response. You got to take the other scores and add those up as well, because you got to be honest. We got to look at this analytically. It's not all emotions. It is graded with math. And then also tell me what you'd like me to listen to after Metallica. We're coming up on the end. I got to do some tiebreakers, and I got to do an awards ceremony. And then question mark? We'll find out what happens then. But give me your suggestions. Check out Midnight Notion wherever you get your music online. I would appreciate the streams on YouTube, on Spotify, or the purchases, either place you like to get your music. I would love your support. And I would love your support by hitting that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're going to get some revenge. This was a bad song, and we're going to revenge it with maybe a possibly better song. We'll find out then. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. Have a great day.